Hey, I'm Scottie, and I was wondering, can I use an expressive urban sketching technique for drawing buildings to sketch anything else, like this boy or this tiger? Well, I'm going to show you a great sketching process that will improve your sketching and make it much easier to sketch figures and animals with ink pens. I had this image of a boy strolling down the street with his pet tiger, and these were the best references I could find. I really wanted to keep exploring using fine liners ever since doing an urban sketching course by Albert Kiefer, where he used really expressive lines, but I struggled to bring that technique consistently over to my figure sketching, so I decided to add a step in with pencil, and I'm interested what you guys think of this process and my final result trying to sketch these two figures together. So my first step here is to use pencil, but not just drawing the final sketch in all its detail, but I found it much easier, even with a complex reference such as this, to sketch simple shapes first. I'm looking at the angles and the relation between the shapes, which really helps me to get the proportions, and hopefully fit this sketch on the page. If I break it into all the shapes, this is what I'm looking at. I think it helps the proportions and the flow of a sketch by adding this into the process, but there's not too much detail so that my inking is still free to be really expressive. So let's see how the inking goes. So I'm trying not to trace here, I'm just using expressive lines and flicking my wrist, getting a couple of lines in there so it looks really sketchy. And then I add some little details around the place to give it some life, and then after that some cross hatching. I don't know if you noticed, but I've tried to match his eyes to the tiger's eyes, and that took a little while to find a reference that matched. They're both looking down, strolling along. Sort of gives it a mellow vibe. I finished all the outlines and now I'm going to go into the details. And to be honest, I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but I just kept going. It took me a while to do all these little details, but hopefully in the end it will pay off. I'm just using lots of diagonal lines. You can see here shading the dark sections of the stripes. Using a thicker pen for some really dark areas and then a very thin pen for the light shading. And right across the pants I thought I'd go quite dark here. So I did the same thing for the tiger, a lot around the face, a bit darker there, and over the middle of the body as well. I really like using a bit of pencil on the face, but I did try it a few times because I didn't get it right. And I also shaded the jumper and then rubbed it with my finger, just to give it a really light grey look. And then in the pants, I thought I'd do the same thing, but then later I regretted it and I rubbed that shading out on the legs a bit. The dark areas of the tiger look really good with this pencil combined with those diagonal lines. And then if you've got a white Posca marker or some sort of white pen, adding the whiskers on the mouth makes a huge difference. A few more details. Well, there you go. What do you guys think? I really enjoyed the process. So if you're finding sketching with ink a bit challenging, I definitely recommend this method. Sketching underneath, but not all the details, just geometric shapes, just simple lines. The real time of this is on my Patreon, and I'll see you in the next one.